Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking.
You take off, and that's another thing too. I feel maybe the Cirrus is just a regular piston aircraft. It
Right.
smells the same, it sounds the same, So if you're taking off, just you just took off and you have an engine failure or whatever. The chute's not going to help you when you're 500 feet off the ground
right.
after departures. You got to figure that out by yourself. So,
And that's the game changer too. I mean, with or without a parachute, if that's the most deadliest spot, right there. But if you can climb up, and if you're flying an airplane without a parachute, you just have to be aware of where you're at. Right, always looking around, looking for some place to land.
Mm-hmm.
If the engine went out right this second, where am I going? Always keeping that in your head, not just getting bored and staring out the window.
Yeah,
and that's how I always make sure I'm comfortable. Even when I'm not flying, if I'm just sitting in the right seat, I'm always looking out the window going, where's he going? And sometimes there's nowhere to go. Right? If you're over the mountains, like there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
It's just, okay, what are we going to do? But then you can start doing things like, okay, well, I need to get on the other side of this peak, because right now if the engine goes out, there ain't nowhere to land.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be crash and pray. But, okay, so what do you do? Well, now I'm going to, can I climb another 4,000 feet, 3,000 feet, buy an extra 6 miles of glide? And that's how you got to be thinking all the time. And I think that's what keeps you safe in a GA plane.
Yeah, you better start thinking safe in a GA plane a lot more often, because it's going to be your lifestyle in the next couple.
Yeah, well,
in this couple, because man, you're right, absolutely right, 100%. When I was an instructor, every second I'm looking at, okay, we can go over there if something happens. I can go over there. So even on a mountain where there's like mountains around and there's nowhere to go, I'm like, maybe I can land on the side of that mountain. So,
well, right. Or you're looking for a creek or something.
Something, man.
Something that's flat, or trees. At least like maybe you can get on the treetops.
Yep.
But
absolutely.
But it's when you get yourself in a big mess is when you're not thinking that way, and you're listening to your Bluetooth radio or your phone, and you're gabbing with the passengers, and then that happens, and you weren't thinking about all that stuff, and now you're just trying to maintain a glide airspeed. And
I need to like I see that because I've been paying attention, because now I'm gonna probably get a little more into the GA a lot more. So I kind of watch and pay attention to some of these accidents that's been going on. And one of the recent one I was reading, this guy came in it was like I think the Cirrus's crosswind limitation is like 21 knots.
Jeez.
And is that high? I think 50 knots is the.
Yeah, that's usually what I'm used to.
I think it's something like that.
Mid-teens.
Maybe I could be wrong. I read it was 21 knots, but it could be wrong. Don't quote me on that, guys. But anyways, he came in and it was like a 31 or something like that, or 20, whatever knot. Or maybe that's what he did. It came in at 21 knot, but it was supposed to be 16 knots. Yeah, that's what he did. So he came in at a 21 knot crosswind. It's like, how does that happen? And he crashed. Like, he ran off the runway and everything and crashed. There's a thing on Facebook. I'm like, and I sit down going, like, how does that happen? How do you come in and not pay attention to the winds and decide you're gonna,
or you get cocky?
I almost feel like it's. You think that's what it is? Are you just cocky?
It could be either or. I had a flight instructor once. She was awesome, but she was telling me that she prided herself on her crosswind landings, and she never gotten herself in a crazy situation. But she was saying like she had one landing where she was just like, didn't need to do that, didn't need to go for that one. She was fine, but it was just like, at that one I probably should have waited. So yeah, you got to recognize that stuff, and or it could be you're just not paying attention.
Yeah, you're right, because I've had the same. I think I spoke about. I've had the same incident with crosswind.
Yeah,
where I was very confident in my crosswind as a flight instructor, and that one I probably should not have done. And I'm okay talking about it because we got
made it out.
We got out of it safely.
No incidents.
No incidents. But for a second there, I thought, and I had a student on board, and like we landed, and I had all the rudder in there on the ground, like we were on the runway. And the aircraft was still drifting off with the wind on the runway, and I recognized it enough to add the power to go around, but I was able to get off the ground just enough to stay just above the stall, just speed just above the stall, and able to climb up just enough to miss one of the runway lights. And as we climb out with my student on board, so so I guess that could be. either he was overconfident or he just wasn't paying attention. Oh, yeah.
Well, and also the thing to think about in a crosswind, even if you had a 12 knot direct crosswind, right on the plane, and you're good with that, you never know. Right before you touch down, there could be another 6 knot gust, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because with my situation, not an incident.
Situation.
Just to be clear that up,
we created a new label. So there's accident, incident, and situation.
Absolutely. Let's be clear about this. We were based on the winds were within the limitations based on what the ATIS was saying.
Right.
So I was within the limitation, and everything is funny because with the entire correction, we were lined up with the runway coming down. It wasn't until I touched down where I was like, nope, this is not going to happen.
Right.
So yeah, but I pay attention to those accidents, and I still see planes, even the series. I still see aircraft, with crash and stuff like that. And it's like, man, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And if you do it long enough, maybe, I don't know what the data shows, but something's probably gonna happen. I don't want to deal with that stuff, man.
I don't want to deal with any of it.
Yeah.
No matter what airplane I'm in. Just keep the freaking engine running.
Yeah, man. Yeah. How's training going with
It's going good, man. It's kind of been a delay just in my own time, just busy. Work, life, right?
Yeah.
So I should have been done already a long time ago, but life has delayed me. But we're getting ready for the check ride, and should be coming up shortly. Got the 2 writtens done.
Oh,
so
good.
For CFI, you got to do 2 written tests.
So you're ahead of me because the only FAA written I've failed is the FOI. I'll say it. It's okay.
It's okay. I got a 98%.
Get the hell out of here.
Swear to God.
Yeah. I believe you. But that FOI really jacked me up. I don't know what happened. And I was really bummed out too. I was so sad because I've never failed a written before. It's my first time. And I was like, oh, God, I was so depressed by it. But anyways, continue.
Yeah, so
showing off.
Yeah, well, let me get through the check ride first. Nobody cares about the writtens. Yeah, I mean, that's about it. Did the spin training about a week ago or so. That was a ton of fun.
Just talk about that. What is that? What's the spin training?
So spin training. So if you're on my YouTube channel, On the Mark, which there's not much up there yet.
I like it.
But you can watch this video though.
On the Mark, baby.
You can see myself and my instructor doing a spin, which is basically just an uncoordinated stall. So for most of you aviation people, you should know what a stall is because it's kind of important information, I would hope. And if you don't know what a stall is, it's not quite like your car stalling and engine stalling. It's your wing stalling.
That's a good one.
So you reach this point where your angle of your wings are so high that it can't produce lift anymore. The air separates from the wings, right? I'm trying to keep it simple and short here.
It makes sense to me. If I was a student, that would make sense to me.
We'd have a little airplane, and we can show you.
By the way, so that's key.
I have one.
You have one?
I
walked around. That thing. Oh my God.
In fact, it's right here. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Key. All right. Good.
So basically, a stall is you hit that point where the air separates from the wings. Your nose drops because you stop flying for a second. Really, that's what it was. But these planes, they want to keep flying. So as soon as that nose drops, that air reconnects, and you're flying again. In a stall or a spin, it's the same thing's happening, only you're what's called uncoordinated, which means the butt of the plane, your tail, is in one direction. And in a nutshell, because you're either, your ass is a little bit to the left or your ass is a little bit to the right, your wings don't stall at the same time, and one side stalls more than the other. And thus it creates a spinning
Good
motion.
job, man. I was going to leave it alone and see if you bury yourself there, but you didn't bury yourself. So good job.
I hope not, because that's going to be on my next stage check. So
I was like, I'm going to be quiet and see how he he's gonna dig this stretch.
Well,
but it came out well. No,
and
it
I'm
came out
trying
well.
to dumb it down for the listeners because we can get into a little more detail, but it's going to take a lot longer than what we want to spend on it.
That's good. It was good. It came out pretty well.
So you can see the video up there, and
you mind if I put it on the?
You can put it on the podcast, and you'll see. Yeah. You'll see when it happens. You'll hear a little horn. If there's, you probably won't have sound on there, but these little planes, like I said earlier, they just want to fly. Like they want to fly. See, the ones we saw, the 172,